From the Post-Millennial, Eric Adams slams Zohran Mamdani over socialists' push for legalized prostitution. Mayor Eric Adams has slammed socialist candidate for New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani as the candidate has pushed to decriminalize prostitution. There is a difference between decriminalize and legalize, and I'm not sure which one they're talking about, because decriminalize is just not
effectively legalize. You can get a business license.
Well, yeah, but also that it starts to involve the courts.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, involve the government. It wouldn't be you can get, like, they would require a license.
Right.
The
It's
government,
regulated. It's on the books. Decriminalize just means you won't go to jail.
Making it legalized allows it to be legally commercial and have the full power of legal markets and legal capitalism behind it, as opposed to decriminalization, where it'll still not be regulated, have their markets regulated.
I imagine that Zohran would not want it legalized, that he would want it decriminalized, because I imagine that he is not interested in making it something that capitalism can exploit for however he would presume to be. Anyways, I can't be more clear. I'm a man of God, just as Mamdani says he's a Muslim. I don't know where in his Quran it states that it's okay for a woman to be on the street selling their body, Adam told reporters. I don't know what Quran he's reading. It's not my Bible, he added. As a man who said he is of faith, I don't quite understand what religion supports prostitution. Mamdani, who claims to be a believing Muslim, has taken up the issue on multiple occasions since he ran for New York City Assembly in 2020. According to the New York Post, prostitution is also very much against the tenets of Islam. I think he's lost faith in the fact that sex trafficking is very much a part of prostitution, Adams added in his comments. We are trying to bring down crime, and he's talking about legalizing sex work. You're not doing any service to a woman who's on the street who is forced to sell her body for whatever reason, he added. No one should be on our streets selling their bodies. No one. Mamdani, aside from other left-wing policy, he has proposed during his campaign, such as freezing rents, government-run grocery stores, and raising the minimum wage to $30 an hour, has co-sponsored legislation in the New York Assembly that would legalize prostitution across the city. If that is his belief, it is a danger for our city, Adams said in his comments. Our city needs to be a safe city. It should not be a city where women are standing on corners, or boys are standing on corners, or young men standing on corners selling their bodies. Look, man, the idea that Zohran Mamdani would not turn New York City of today into New York City of 1979 through 85, I think that idea has sailed, and I think that if you institute Zohran's policies, or the policies that he's talked about, I think that that's inevitable. I mean, doesn't that seem to be the case?
Yeah. I mean, you go back to those decades, that time, it was pretty scary. New York City was not a good place to be walking around. I love the fact that some people say they miss that time, that they miss the seediness of the city that way. But
it was so real back then.
It was so real. It was so real. The danger was excellent. But look where they're at right now. I mean, look what's happening in that city right now, and look at the number of people who have left. I mean, I escaped California 7 years ago. I live in this free state of Florida, and the number of, when COVID hit, the number of people that came down from Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, and Jersey just flooded it. And really, when I first got there, this is interesting about Florida. I know I'm segueing a little bit here, but Florida used to be a swing state, right? It ain't anymore. When I got there, I think there was 300,000 more Democrats registered 7 years ago. Now it's like 800,000 more Republicans registered. It's no longer a swing state.
Yeah.
What I believe was extremely effective in this Eric Adams attack is that, I don't know if he did it purposefully or not, but he took a note out of Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. There's a far leftist who made a political strategy book, but one of the specific things he's using here is make them live by their own rules, expose the hypocrisy and inconsistencies in the opponent's stated principles and actions. And prostitution is not consistent with the beliefs in Islam. I don't think this is the only inconsistency that exists within his policy proposals, but I think that's what will make this such an effective, potent attack. And I think Mayor Adams should continue attacking Mamdani in this fashion. However, ultimately, I don't think this would lead him to be successful in the race. He's polling at half of what Andrew Cuomo's polling at. He's polling around nearly what the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, who should also probably drop out out, and we'll see if President Trump decides to get involved one way or another in the race to ultimately, if these guys ultimately want to stop Mamdani, they will need to put their egos aside. I know I'm asking a lot of a politician there to put their egos aside, because I ultimately doubt either will, because again, all these guys have extremely huge egos. One other tidbit I wanted to say here is that if we do get to the point where prostitution is legalized, it would be such an unfortunate state of the market for the women in our country. If we make the most lucrative thing in our country that a woman could do be prostitution, if a woman has no skills, and a young 18, 19, 20, 23, whatever, and the most lucrative thing that a young woman like this can do is go into prostitution, I don't want to make the incentive structure such that for young women to highly incentivize them to do so. Yep. And by legalizing prostitution, that's what we would effectively be doing in our country.
I don't know that.
And there's a huge moral hazard to that.
I don't know that it would be actually the most lucrative thing that they can do. I mean,
like a young, unskilled woman.
OnlyFans is like instant millionaire.
No, it's not. The average.
For a lot of these women.
No.
Yeah.
No, hold on. The average OnlyFans girl makes like $150. There are exceptions, but they average like $150 a month. And then when you think, if you're talking about streetwalkers, they're not making a lot of money. They're not.
I think
this is like New Zealand, the Netherlands. They actually do make quite a bit of money.
That's not streetwalkers.
That's what happens when prostitution becomes regulated and legalized.
So brothels, massage parlors, escorts. It's a much more lucrative job for most unskilled women compared to what they would do otherwise. And if that's what the fact of the matter is, then we're setting up young women to be taken advantage of. And if we want to prevent a whole generation of young women getting involved in this work for the money.
Look, I could be wrong, but I don't think that it's actually that lucrative for the average woman.
Not the average.
Compared to
the low income versus like a fry
woman.
cook or something. Probably, yeah. I mean, New York
if
City,
you're a cashier or there's a lot of unskilled labor.
If you're a cashier and you're attractive. But like the idea that you can be an unattractive woman is not going to be pulling in a lot of money. Like I don't know.
I don't know if I want to get into the market and the numbers. But I suspect women in massage parlors can make a lot more money being prostitutes than giving massages.
Like I know that
you're reading in between the lines.
Yes.
New York City is already to a degree decriminalized prostitution because the rub and tugs, the women are not prosecuted. They only prosecute the pimps and the owners. And I forget
most of those women are trafficked, aren't they? They tend to be.
They're often foreign. They're often trafficked, but they don't prosecute the women anymore. Whatever. I've never looked into if that actually helps crack down or if that helps improve the standards. I doubt it. I doubt that actually improves anyone's lives. You should probably just you should probably criminalize every aspect of prostitution. They're everywhere in Queens, especially. I mean, it gets bad. I'm not, an expert on the locations, but it's there's kind of running jokes. Like I think it's what Northern Avenue in Queens is like just this, open air like prostitution. I mean, it looks like Amsterdam. Like it's crazy. It's very prevalent. And no, it's just like Elaad is saying is like just in general, having prostitution being lucrative to any degree is just such a tragic reflection on your society. And I think the last thing you want to do is enfranchise that in any way, any meaningful way.
I just don't imagine that the making prostitution legal makes it lucrative. I feel like it is the kind of thing I feel like it's the kind of thing that like you go into only if you have to, because there's not a lot of money. It's dangerous. Even if they decriminalize it and they can actually go to the police.
Maybe I'm tripping, but I think strippers make a ton of money. And
I mean, strippers are different than prostitutes.
I think they're a variety.
Vaguely the same, and at least in a religious worldview.
No, and I think they put out too. I don't know. I don't visit strip clubs. They don't. I think they.
I would think that they do in some places. I don't know.
Presumably, right?
I've been to a lot of strip clubs, and I'm 50 years old, bro.
And you're a rock star.
And I was banned for 25 years. So I mean, that is not something that happens regularly. Like,
I mean, I think it's just.
Could you imagine the tech marrying legal prostitution too? Like, if you can Uber a prostitute, the way technology will evolve with this industry, if it becomes legalized, will be disgusting and horrible, and also, worse than I can imagine.
Like, they've done this thing where they just don't let you, as a society, they don't let you criminalize behaviors that are corrosive to the human spirit. Like, they call it a victimless crime. It's like, I don't need a victim involved to just want to disincentivize something that's bad for people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so tired of this live and let live liberal attitude. It's like, no, if something is bad for a human being, you can justify banning it. Your society should be a reflection of good characteristics. And America was that for a long time.
You're telling me there are things that you can do in the bedroom that affect society that are bad?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. Yes, there's
Like doggy style, right? That's bad for
could
society.
be. I mean, I'm a bit of a
It's
Puritan.
dehumanizing.
But every personal decision, society is just a culmination of personal decisions. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, so look, I'm completely, I don't think that decriminalizing or legalizing prostitution in New York City or anywhere else is going to produce positive results. It is typical of stop it. It is typical of the left to say, to desire these kind of things.
I love the Islam standard he's holding him to. He's like, come on, is that kosher in the Quran?
I mean,
is that halal? It's not halal. It's not
kosher,
halal.
It's kosher
and
in the Hadith.
You're advocating
Actually,
for
it's
that
not-
haram shit.
It's not kosher
as
in the Hadith.
as the Democratic mayoral candidate.
It's called muta, right? The
It is? It is halal?
It's in the Hadith. The Arabic dictionaries define muta as enjoyment, pleasure, delight. The root form signifies to carry away, to take away. A marriage of muta is a marriage which the contract stipulates will last for a fixed period of time. This marriage of muta is referred to both in the Hadith literature and in much more detail in the books on jurisprudence. In the Hadith and in other sayings related to early Muslims, the word muta itself usually employed. The Shia hold that this particular term is the preferred name for temporary marriage because the Quran itself refers to the kind of marriage employing a term derived
Is that what
from the
Muslims
same
call
root.
prostitution? Temporary marriage?
In the following verse, the word istma is the 10th verbal form of the root mutu and is translated as enjoy. So there in the Hadith, allegedly it condones this kind of behavior. It calls it a temporary marriage, and so maybe that's where Zohran Mamdani is.
I knew they
getting
did
his
sex
idea.
slaves in Islam, but I didn't know it was halal to do prostitution, allegedly. I don't want to have to read into the Quran more than we already have,
Yes.
so maybe we could...
Well, again, that's the Hadith, not the Quran.
I mean,
I don't know the difference, frankly.
also, like, another side problem with prostitution is it directly leads to human trafficking because what you're doing is you're putting a price tag on consent. And once you've done that, then trafficking is the next logical step. And so, I mean, if you're against trafficking, then you should probably be against prostitution because it's not good to be putting a price tag on consent because consent doesn't have a price tag. It's a mechanism, not a item for sale.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.